I'm sorry, I'm way too pumped over this Space Force thing than I should be. I know it's probably impractical, but here's my philosophy on space. And say what you want about President Trump, I really like the moves he's going through with regards to space. Maybe he's not going through the moves exactly the way I would do it, but let's talk about my philosophy of space and why I think it's a missed opportunity, and it's something we really need to be working on we should have been working on space a long time ago, and should be working on space now. Any technology we can get to have practical space flight capabilities, anything we can get to colonize stuff. And you might sound like, oh, that's just sci-fi stuff, Radix. No, it's science stuff. Science is almost like magic, because you can do a lot of stuff with science. And I don't believe we've plateaued with how much science technology we've researched and obtained. Here's the thing about space. Well, here's the root of the problem, and I'll say the root of the problem is I don't think Earth is a sustainable. For the future of the human race to survive, I do not believe Earth can be the sole home of humans forever. After all, Earth's going to die at some point. There's the risk of... There are 3 major risks on Earth. Actually, there are more risks, but like the ones that come to mind immediately is the possibility we'll blow up Earth eventually. You know, all these countries have nuclear weapons. War is an inevitable thing, I believe. And it's just... If we don't destroy ourselves by nukes, something else will have to destroy us. So, beyond that, I don't believe overpopulation is as much of a population as people make it out to be, because that doesn't really fit the model of, what's the term for it? I can't remember the term for it, so I'll make something up on the spot, but I think it's, like max capacity or something. This is how all populations have generally stayed in control, and now it might get bad, but, you know, we haven't been overloaded with space by different invasive species and stuff like that. A population can only support itself at a certain size, and at that point it starts to plateau. When the population can no longer support itself, they won't continue growing at an exponential rate forever. That's why I don't think definitely I think there'll be a resource scarcity. That will definitely happen. And that goes into the next point, global warming and climate change. Regardless of the politicization of global warming and climate change, there is obviously a natural change going on. How do I word this? Resources aren't going to go on forever on Earth. That's how I'll word it. Sustainable resources won't go on forever. And we really need to do something about that. And I think a lot of people say the answer is recycling, the answer is going green. No, you idiots. That's not going to... That might postpone the end by a few weeks, whenever that happens, but the point is, Earth is doomed. I don't think a planet can sustain life forever. And I'm not trying to be like this doom bringer saying we're all going to die, like we should march in the streets with signs saying the world will end. I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime. I don't think we'll see it in the next lifetime. Although, judging how water is becoming more and more scarce, I wouldn't be surprised if 3 generations from now, maybe, that we start to see real big problems. But the answer is colonization, space, and getting... Oh, the other threat is Earth's going to be destroyed by the sun eventually. And I think there's a possibility for humanity to outlive the Earth. Just by moving to other planets and colonizing other planets. And just keep on moving out of the solar system out into space. Space is something we really need to... Space and colonization. And that's what we really need to look into. Now, at first I believed in aliens, but the Fermi paradox has got me very... I don't know. And let's be clear here. I don't believe we've made contact with aliens. I'll say that. I don't believe we've done that already. Like, you know, Area 51, stuff like that. I don't believe those conspiracies. I don't, like, when people show footage of, like, a random thing in the sky, I don't believe that stuff. But I do believe that if life existed on Earth, nothing's stopping life from popping up on other planets, even if it's just as rare, if it's the most rare thing of all time. Of course, we haven't made contact with any civilization yet. Of course, we're also just a very new society. Our calendar year is only in the 2000s, and we've been around for about 2 million years, I believe. But that's still young in the cosmic sense of things. But the Fermi paradox, that societies don't... Actually, come to think of it, I don't remember what exactly the Fermi paradox is off the top of my head. I believe it's something involving that civilizations don't become space capable because they'll nuclear annihilate themselves before they get to the chance to go into space or something like that. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me. But the point is, I'm very concerned with the fact that we haven't made contact yet, even though it's still young. It's like being a Native American in the year 2000 BC and saying, if there are other people out there on Earth, we should have made contact with them by now. It's still early in the timeline. I will say, if it's ever confirmed, and it's hard to confirm this, that aliens don't exist, then that would make me rethink a lot about how I view life. Because I believe in the possibility of aliens. I'm not even necessarily saying I believe intelligent life is out there. Just some form of life. Judging by the fact that it's happened here, the empirical method would suggest that it could happen anywhere else, and the space is a big place, the biggest place you can have, until we've confirmed the multiverse. So there's infinite possibilities out there. So the empirical method would say that, yeah, there's probably life out there. We can observe that life has popped up here, should probably pop up elsewhere. If there's no life elsewhere, and that's confirmed, and it's Earth is the only living planet out there, that would probably make me rethink some things about religion. But until that impossible to achieve information arrives, we still have to keep going by the empirical method. Where was I? Space. Yeah, we need to go out, we need to colonize, we need to get technologically developed to abandon Earth because Earth won't last forever. And I don't understand why there has been constant defunding of space exploration. And the argument they use is often that, it's expensive and impractical. And I'm like, the most important thing we can be investing in right now is space. Because that's how we escape the doomed scenario. Because if we don't go into space, then the longest we can last is until Earth blows up. Until the sun gets too close and everything melts. And everyone dies. And the environment gets all out of whack. If we can escape Earth and we get advanced technology to fully use space to our advantage, then our lifespan is significantly increased to last, and I don't mean ours as individual, I mean ours as a species. The lifespan of the human race will go on until the death of the universe, the death of the last dying star. That's the longest possibility. Of course, things can happen between now and then. And I am always for, persisting life, making sure you survive as long as possible. And that goes for the human race. And, the best things out there have been made by the human race. Also, the worst things, seeing as that's the only intelligent species we've encountered. But, whatever. We did, the Neanderthals aren't doing anything these days. But yeah, Space Force. If it's there are space, commands, facilities in the U.S. military already. But if this Space Force goes in the direction of proper militarized space, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure goes against some UN laws about we can't militarize space. But if this goes to a proper space military, I think that would be pretty cool. If possibly impractical. But, you never know. I'm very interested to seeing how this plays out, let's say it like that.